Started when the Clippers came out for their opening warm-ups. Paul George gets inside on the finish.
More active, more athletic, more nimble. A second shot and then a tip out already.
Paul George. 4 on the 24. Paul George from long distance. The Tillman George play catch. George sets and fires. Paul George from downtown.
Put a tattoo of it on his body, and he is marching towards those orders.
George trying to draw some contact. Phoenix is shooting 63% for the game. Paul George starting to feel it. Nails. Zubac sets the screen. George wide open. Drills her, who had 16 consecutive points for his team. George step back three-pointer. And home in his first conference final. Rondo a three-pointer. Rajon Rondo with a... Suns, by the way, only 3 of their 16 field goal attempts are from 3. Paul George this time gets down. George stops. This time connects. Dario Saric with 7 points, couple of assists, and 6 minutes off the bench. A huge impact as Paul George gets inside. Rondo back in for Beverly. George on the drive, gets inside. Layup is good. Paul George. Booker now defending George. It's right up into him. George drives, kicks it out. Beverly fakes, fires. Patrick Beverly.
Bridges coming off the down screen of 8.
Just his second field goal. George looks to answer. That's good. Shot clock at 6. Payne gets inside. Layup blocked by Zubac. George comes the other way. Here comes Paul George. Gets inside. Layup. He banks it home.
And they took Ayton off the floor to downsize along with the Clippers. There'll be no shot blocking at the rim.
George jumper. Got it.
Just look at the havoc that Beverly putting forth. Rebounding, defending, knocking down shots.
Wanted his teammate Chris Paul to be back. Payne had 29 points in game 2. George turns, shoots, and scores. Payne on the drive, high off the glass, too strong. Paul George the rebound. Terrence Mann slips by and lays it up.
Clippers only shoot 33% and 3 for 16 from 3.
And they're still with the lead as Paul George gets that one to fall. 3 minutes remaining. Second period. Zubac on the slam. George drives into traffic. Pulls up. Shot's good. Phoenix has a foul to give. George drives, goes inside for the slam. With 2.9 started in this series. In the first 2 games, 22 of 29. That shot's good from
high level defending and elite offensive weapon.
They did it in game 2 as well. Paul George drives inside, up and under. Cam Johnson comes in for Phoenix.
I tried to. It was like one of your patent back downs where you were met at the wall.
Zubac! Oh! His watch right now, 4 fouls.
And without Payne, will he be the backup point guard to Paul?
Paul George. Paul George gets it off in time. Oh, he banks it in! It's good! Paul George at the buzzer! Zubac's calling for it. He's got Booker on him. Jackson, a three-pointer. It's good! Reggie Jackson. Booker on George. Picks it back out. Jackson, three-pointer. Puts it in!
That time he got the mid-range jumper.
This is the largest lead of the series by either team so far through the first 3+ games. As George knocks it down. Take that, not use it as an excuse for a poor shooting game.
Did you ever play with a mask?
No, I never went in the paint.
Zubac goes in the... Ayton's being guarded by Jackson, who pokes it away in a steal. Here comes George. George drives, goes into Booker. Layup, missed it. Zubac on the follow. And a whistle and a foul. Very quickly, it's cut to 10.
And this was the unit in the third quarter the other night that played well.
George inside. Zubac gathers and finishes. 14 from the field. That's his first shot without the mask. George looking to draw. Foul, drills it. Booker guarding George. Paul George now with 18 points. Back George double figures and rebounds once again. Drives on Booker and a foul on Booker.
Again, it's the retaliation. I don't like when guys are allowed to just
sit here and say you got to back off those things. But each point in the way this game is going, trust in his ability to shoot. He says he's a terrific defender as well. Cousins once again.
I think right now the answer is no.
George squeezes inside. Count it and the Paul George makes his move behind the back. Pulls up jumper. It's good. Paul George now with 8
for cash in the first 4 games.
George on the pull-up, nails a 3. Paul George answers.
This move by Paul George tells Chris Paul, mind your business. Get out of my way. Upper body strength, eliminates him, elevates, knocks down the long.
Booker, one of the premier free throw shooters in the game, 93% in the series. George connects again. Paul George. George to Beverly. Beverly's going to try a three-pointer. Patrick Beverly from downtown.
Such size on the floor. Torrey Craig, who didn't play last game, playing.
Clippers up by 8, final minute, third quarter. George three-pointer, puts it in. Paul, 2 games he's played, is 7 of 14 here tonight. George drives past Craig, goes inside, lays it up and in. George drives, stops, leans in, bank shot is good. Paul George with 30. Beverly back into the hands of George. Jackson long 3, just back out. George over Bridges, another. Paul George, and this is the largest lead of the night, a 16-pointer. He has just been spectacular defensively. George the drive and the finish. Now Terrence Mann, good look. That won't go. Batum keeps it alive and a new 14 on the shot clock. This time George inside, banks it home.
Let's go for the knockout punch right now, offensively and defensively.
There's 2 other teams that tried to do that here in these playoffs and were unsuccessful as Paul George knocks it.
In which Devin Booker comes off of that screen. You can't catch up and get back into the picture.
Paul George, pull-up jumper, got it.
Paul is rolling right now.
Still 5.5 remaining. Paul George, jump shot is good.